Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so we got a better than forecasted CPI. The S&P hit a record 5,400 for the first time ever. The Fed held interest rates steady, but lowered their forecast to only one rate cut for 2024. And that's funny to me because they predicted 3 of them just this past March. I was hoping for a hot or cold release because I'm long volatility and I want hedge funds to get their ass cheeks ripped off by a surprise reading. But everything came in lukewarm just like the market wanted it to. Now we look ahead to PPI on Thursday morning. Before we get started on the other content, this seems like a good time to run through the year-to-dates. From ExecSum, S&P 500, 5421. That's up 14.3% year-to-date. The Dow, 38,712, 2.6%. NASDAQ, 17,608, up 19.3%. Bitcoin yesterday, 67,839, up 55% for the year. Ethereum, 3549, up 51.7%. Gold stands at 2340, up 12.9% year to date. Oil, 78.42, up 9.4%. 10-year Treasury yield stands at 4.318. Hey, did anyone else notice there were over 4 million shares of GameStop available to lend and short today, all day, just like every day, but this time there didn't seem to be any takers. Where's our predatory short hedge funds? What's wrong, guys? You don't want to borrow shares and sell them to suppress the price anymore? They even dropped the cost to borrow fee to under 2%, a 50% sale from earlier in the day, and still no takers. Wait a minute. I think I know what's up. Are you guys worried that Ryan Cohen might have something important to say at that annual shareholder meeting Thursday, June 13th at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time? Are you concerned that he has a $4 billion war chest and may buy or start a business to build on top of his legacy business? I mean, if I were a short seller, I would be more than just a little concerned that my cheese is in the wind when this guy drops the news, if he has any. I have to admit today was a confusing day for me concerning GME. Number one, where's our customary crime candle? I didn't see one before or after market hours. You know, I've become accustomed to you nefarious little hemorrhoids routing sell orders to lit markets while routing buy orders to the ATSs and then cleaning up all the out-of-sequence trades with a big fat crime candle at the end of the day. I'm going to miss them when the next hedge fund goes up in smoke, like the 700 hedge funds that took the pipe in 2008 following that crisis. To be fair, the little devils lived up to their reputation when it comes to the dark pools bullshit today. Only 11.9 million shares out of volume of 147 million, or 8.11%, were actually executed on the exchange we're listed on. Only God knows which dark pools the other 91% were routed to. With so few shares being traded on the New York, it seems unfair that this same exchange can halt the stock 17 times in one day with the help of the LULD, or Limit Up, Limit Down Committee, the group sworn to protect us, with members such as Citadel, Virtu, and Goldman Sachs. I can't remember when I've ever felt so safe. So GME rose to a high of 33.70 earlier today, and then it was all downhill from there, pushing it as low as 24.83 before closing at 25.46, down 5.03 or 16.5% on some very exciting news, I might add. It's up a bit after hours, 26:08 at the time of this recording, but it doesn't matter because this is just a completely manipulated, demented video game itself. Or do you want me to believe this was legitimate price discovery? These were diehard GME shareholders selling their stock the day before Ryan Cohen might make a big announcement. These people have been holding for years. Day traders, yes. Speculators, yes. But this action was by the market makers, in my opinion, marking the stock down to max pain at 26 ahead of tomorrow. I put a yellow line in there for you at 26. I really expected more short covering today after Andrew Leff said he covered and Citron Research said they covered. I didn't think these guys would like the risk involved here ahead of Thursday's meeting unless they think or they know Ryan Cohen has nothing to say. Anyway, they have until 10 a.m. Central to make up their minds, and I think it's going to be interesting after PPI gets released. Now, AMC had a similar day to GameStop, and when I say similar, I mean ridiculous similar. Did you know AMC and GME hit their high for the day at exactly 11:25 and then sold off for the remainder of the day together? It was like someone flipped a switch. The charts track almost perfectly, as they should, because one company is a theater stock and the other company is retail video games, so almost the same thing. By the way, I'm laying on the sarcasm really thick here. AMC got up to 545 early on and immediately followed GME down to its low of 489 before closing at 491, down 31 cents or 5.94%. The market makers are currently safely under max pain, which at the time of this recording is at 5. I added a yellow line so you can appreciate the power these bad actors have over the stock price. For now. First, they tell the world where this kid has his account. Now they're speculating on whether or not he sold any of his options. I wish they would monitor Kenny's activity this closely. Roaring Kitty may have cut GameStop options position, strategists say. From Reuters Wednesday night, a surge of trading in some short-dated GameStop options contracts on Wednesday suggested to some market participants that Keith Gill, the stock influencer known as Roaring Kitty, may have sold some of his recently disclosed options positions in the company. Gill, who helped launch the meme stock phenomenon in 2021, recently disclosed a sizable GameStop stock and options position in a screenshot posted on Reddit on June 2nd. The screenshot showed he held 120,000 GameStop June 21 call options at a strike price of $20, bought at $5.67 per contract, or $68.1 million in all. The screenshot also showed he owned 5 million GameStop shares worth $115.7 million on June 2nd. One good thing about this article is if our Kitty didn't sell and he posts again, we're in for another hot ride. Here's the bottom line, guys. Ryan has an amazing war chest now. He's basically a SPAC at this point with a legacy business to boot. He had 3 years to come up with an idea, and maybe he has a deal in hand. I can promise you this. When you have billions of dollars, business plans are stacked all over your desk. I won't know until you do tomorrow. He was the founder of Chewy, the largest business of its kind in the world, so maybe he can do it again. Not financial advice or advisor. It goes without saying, if he doesn't, we may be in for some heavy volatility, and it may not all be pretty. Keith Gill seemed awful calm and confident during that live stream, so like you, I'm hoping for the best. One thing I would warn you about. In the meme space, we always give the bad actors too many hints and way too much time to prepare, in my opinion. Okay, so far, the hedgies have managed to tiptoe halfway through another time window of mine. I'm as frustrated as you all are. It's hard to predict and wait for a black or white swan event, but it'll be the combination of 1, 2, even 3 events that adversely affect our enemies that can deliver the results we've all been hoping for. Not investment advice or advisor. CPI was disappointing for me, but there are still a couple of events here that could make for an exceptional landing pad for a swan. Today, Thursday, June 13th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, PPI, Producer Price Index. Of course, at 11 a.m., the GME Annual Shareholders Meeting, where we're going to find out if there's an announcement or not. Then Tuesday, June 18th, 8:30 a.m., U.S. Retail Sales. Thursday, June 20th, initial jobless claims. But then Friday, June 21st, 9:45 a.m. Eastern, S&P Flash, Services and Manufacturing PMI. Roaring Kitty's options expire, and it's also triple or quadruple witching expiration day. So, Uncle Frank, do you see any swans close to landing? As a matter of fact, I do, dozens to be precise. How about this one from Wednesday night? Fed's $1 trillion pile of paper losses are turning into actual losses, with more in sight. The Fed Reserve's roughly $1 trillion pile of paper losses, stemming from its underwater securities holdings, have begun to turn into more than $100 billion in actual losses, with no relief in sight. How about this one from earlier this month? U.S. banking sector teeters, $517 billion in unrealized losses, 63 troubled institutions flagged. And has anyone been keeping an eye on the reverse repo market? Fed's reverse repo facility plummets to lowest level in nearly 3 years from earlier this year. And let's not forget CRE. Bank failures to come amid rising commercial real estate crisis. That was from yesterday. Why more troubled commercial real estate loans will come due in 2024. Now, would you say things are getting better or worse in the war in Ukraine? Again, from last night, NATO fighters scrambled after Russian aerial assault. Speaking of Russia, this week, Russian warships reached Cuban waters ahead of military exercises in the Caribbean. Russian warships arrive in Cuba in a show of force. Also from Wednesday, U.S. housing market nosedives to unprecedented low. And how about China and Taiwan? U.S. military plans a hellscape to deter China from attacking Taiwan. U.S. plans to turn Taiwan Strait into drone hellscape against China. Speaking of Asia, China dumps the largest U.S. treasuries in history. China dumps $101.9 billion in U.S. treasuries in 12 months as Fed governor dismisses imminent demise of U.S. dollar. The truth is, I could go on for an hour, but I think you get my point. Terrible policy mistakes, greed, and mismanagement have created an atmosphere of potential swan events, and we're not the ones leveraged 60 to 1. We're not responsible for an ocean of synthetic shares, ballooning securities sold yet not purchase levels, hidden over leverage, dangerous derivative positions, or unrealized losses. That's their problem, guys. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.